Boom, we are pre-recorded today, and we're interested in the fact that we're seeing stability in the consolidation point again. Now, we actually really like this. This is one of those rare moments in time where the stability of the cryptocurrency, blockchain, Bitcoin space is actually to the benefit. I think one of the big things that holds traditional investors from understanding this space is that a currency to them has always stayed the same. Here you have a $1 US and a $1 US. Now those effectively may purchase different amounts of goods, products, or services over the years. It still effectively looks like one of something. To the average individual, Bitcoin has not yet become the fact where it's just one Bitcoin and everything else is relative to that. It could be well on its way to doing so over the next decade. Now, there are a lot of circumstances in the way between us today and where we would hope to end up in the future, and it's likely a lot more tumultuous ground than we'd like to expect. With that in mind, we are going to take a look at the charts today. We are going to remind and thank all of you for joining us. We really appreciate it. Give us those thumbs up if you like this content. If you're new to the Bear family, subscribe, and all those other fun things. What we effectively want to do, and what we consistently try to do here at the Arcane Bear, is just kind of show not just a general market overview, but all the little threads and tapestries in our personal lives that make this story really delicious to us. So we're happy to be back in Costa Rica right now. Very, very beautiful place, very calm. Been spending a lot of time with nature, and now I'm going to be getting back to the Arcane Bear. A lot of it's going to be moved into the markets, as well as the rest of the work that we're doing just outside of that with the Bear, between podcasts and vlogs. So we'll update that in the next 24 hours. What we see here, especially on the 24-hour mark, you have all of the top tokens anywhere between here and number 10, not moving anything more than just 5%, which was the high for Tron. Now, Tron is actually one of the tokens we're going to be adding to the watch list. There are a few others as well. We had added Flow recently. We're going to be looking at Raven. But more specifically today, I just want to take in a general overview of the markets. This stability that we're seeing right now, this percentage move in either direction, positive or negative, for any of the top tokens, is very reminiscent of when we were at $6,000. Now, this is actually a positive point, but I do believe that the breakdown and the bear market is not over. I like when we find stability in the currency and monetary markets in this space, is because that in itself is an irregularity. This is a highly volatile market, so anytime we can find a place of, let's say, comfortable prices, now what a comfortable price for everyone is may vary drastically depending on what you bought at, but nonetheless, the stability is actually the comfortable part that most people are used to in the fiat world. They have one of something. Again, getting used to that of having one Bitcoin, I think will take us another few years, likely beyond the $100,000 mark. So I do believe that we're going to go past the $100,000 mark, but in no short time frame. So if we look a little closer here into the Bitcoin charts, we're sitting pretty much right on the make or break line for, do we go and retest the $5,200 line, or do we just massively fall down below this support? So Bitcoin likely has one more chance to try to push through this $4,200 line. And as you can see on the volume profile, we actually have a very, very thick area of support right up to 4,200. And we've actually touched that 4 times now in the last few months, between November and December, essentially. So with that in mind, if we don't break out of here again soon, it's likely that we're going to continue down. The first area that we have is noticeable support, again, $2,500. So people are always like, oh, you're going to wait till $800 to buy in a Bitcoin. Well, no, not necessarily. I'm looking for a more staggered entry point. Most of my buys are set up around $2,400 to $2,200, but I also have a fair amount between $1,300 and $700. Again, what I'm trying to do is keep a steady, balanced portfolio. So for anyone that's interested or cares, I think a steady, balanced portfolio, if you're looking strictly from a monetary aspect, should definitely include things like property, silver, gold, variations and exposures to different markets depending on what you're interested in. Now, the blockchain and Bitcoin space is widely volatile And it's one of the reasons why we love this space. So again, seeing this rather calm waters, I think, is indicative of a move that will come. Now, again, we had a recent drop that brought us back down to the $3,600 area, sitting on Bitfinex right now. I do suspect from there we will come down to $2,500. I was hoping that we'd get a larger B wave, somewhere up into the $5,200 space for anyone that had not exited the market yet, but it seems less and less likely that that is going to be the case. I'm going to just take a quick look at Litecoin, Ethereum, and Tron for everyone, and then we'll close it out with that. Okay. So we're hoping we can start to get more of this stuff set up as we go, open the newsletter so we can keep consistent updates coming out on the written format. That way it's saved for you guys again, for those that like to do this with us last year, which worked out quite well. Here looking at Litecoin, again, we've fallen down. Now the next major area of support is around $9, and below that it's around 20 again. So I'm going to be looking for again, an expanded corrective wave here that puts us all the way into September to October of next year. Now, the bull run up after this, it could be monumental, effectively, not just for Litecoin, but for the entire space. Now, there's a lot of speculation between, I mean, Tyler Jenks and Tone Vays. I love these gentlemen, but the real crux of the problem, I don't agree with. I don't think that the space requires just Bitcoin to survive. And in fact, I think competition is extremely healthy. But competition in different areas of this sector, using distributed ledger technology, whether it's Bitcoin, blockchain, or any of the other variations that we've come up with since then, provides a highly utilizable aspect of the technology to business as it grows. Now, effectively, business has not lost its value. Someone who's producing a product like, let's say, blankets, a very useful function for almost everybody's life. I know very few people that don't use a blanket, unless you're sleeping right in the dead of the beach. But anyways, nonetheless, these products and services offer value. So the nature of value that we've grown accustomed to is wildly speculative. I think an evening out of the debt system, which is what will be coming next, is going to reintegrate the prices for things that are necessary and those things that are not. Again, what everyone deems necessary is completely different. Steve Jobs has a beautiful yacht. Whether it's needed or not is an entirely different question. I think everybody would want one to some degree or another, or at least a high probability and percentage of people would want one. I'm not of those people, but nonetheless, I don't think that would fly past most people. They'd say, why not? On the next point here, I do think that the remittance compared to the currency space, such as things like Litecoin and Bitcoin, are going to have a very useful value in the future, but the relationship between them is just different than we understand today. That's the same reason why I will remain interested in Ethereum and Litecoin, is even though I do not believe that they are the Goliath that Bitcoin could potentially turn out to be, all factors taken into account, I think that they are necessary, basically ports and infrastructure for the cable of commerce, and what's more important to me at this point, governance systems. I think money is one idea, yes, but decentralized forms of governance and municipality are not that far away, and we need to look at this technology to help answer some of those questions. So I will be back on tomorrow. We're going to be taking a look at Tron, Raven, the energy charts, as well as, what else did I have on the list here? Yes, you guys wanted to take a look at Zilliqa. XHV just had a nice bounce, although we had exited this position a long time ago in XHV. We're just going to start taking a look at more of the tokens as they get near the bottom, because I myself am not a maximalist. What I like to do is focus on my ability to acquire more value in my skill sets as I move forward. And even though these are hot potatoes bouncing off the press, they can provide massive returns with very little input. So knowing how to enter and exit positions is really one of the truths there. I don't think it actually detracts from the market as a whole. I believe Bitcoin was going to come down in price value regardless. This perceptual game that we're going through right now is very, very volatile because there is a lot on the plate. Anyways, this deal with the Arcane Bear. This is a very long episode, I know, but we will be back online. We'll be doing live vlogs. We'll be doing all that fun stuff because, hey, we very much appreciate the ability to do so. So shout out to all the Bear family. Again, remember to give us those thumbs up. Pound that subscribe button if you haven't done so yet. Hit the little bell, that way you get notified, and we will see you guys again shortly. We're going to leave you off with just the kind gestures and sentiments of our own thought pattern today. But true wealth and love is not defined about how much more you can get, but generally how much you appreciate it instead. So this is Tio and this is Arcane Bear. We'll see you guys on the other side.